can see. My other thing in my older age is open world gaming has lately been not as fun as it used to be.
What are you talking about? No Man's Sky is the best game
No
ever
Man's
released
Sky.
all time.
Definitely great. No, I don't know. Just because it gets such a bad term, linear, in games. I think that bad term came from certain games like Final Fantasy 13, for instance. And there's other things, but I kind of like just being able to do the main story, go through it, and finish the game.
I haven't finished a game in so long.
I'm pretty bad with that too. I was bad with the Final Fantasy series a lot of times. I'd get to like almost like the end boss and then I'd stop playing. I don't know why. It was a weird habit I had. But yeah, a lot of games these days are going kind of open world for the most part.
Because even Fallout 4, I mentioned that I hadn't finished the main storyline. I have 100 hours in that game. It's not like I wasn't playing it. Like, I've played a lot of that game. It's just you can choose not to do the storyline in a lot of games now. And I don't know.
Yeah, even like Breath of the Wild now is open world too. Like a Zelda game that's a pretty open world. I was seeing that somebody beat the game, I think in like an hour and a half or 2 hours, because like instead of doing all the things, like he somehow just got to the main castle and was able to finish it. But my problem now with open world games is I don't know if I have the time for them. Is the problem?
Yeah,
just being older now. I used to enjoy things like GTA 5 was actually fun. Yeah. I enjoyed that's probably the last open world game that I played. But one of my biggest issues with open world games now, and I'm sure I'll get a lot of hate for this because that's the trend these days, Skyrim, Breath of the Wild, Horizon, what's it called? Horizon something, the new game that came out. It's getting really good feedback. Just a lot of open world games, and Fallout's another one, is that for me, I just don't feel like grinding anymore. like I don't want to, like you go into a town and instead of doing the main mission, there's like all these side missions. And there's probably really an MMO influence that's involved in a lot of these open world games.
Oh yeah.
But you go into a town and it's like, you come up to some kid and he's like, hey, I need some help. My father's stuck in a forest and can you rescue him? Or it's like, my grandpa's really sick and I need to collect these herbs in this like
Why does that sound like The Witcher 3?
I don't know. I didn't play. Did you play The Witcher 3?
I started to because my friend said it was the best game he's ever played. And
it got really rave reviews. That's another one. Witcher 3 is another one.
But the intro scene that you don't have a choice to skip or not took like 30 minutes. And really? I was like, I don't have time for this game.
Yeah, it's just like, I don't, like, by the time, like, my problem with open world is I want to do these, I want to finish these missions, but then at the same time, like, I go back to the main mission, it's like, what was I doing again?
Yeah.
Like, oh, wow, oh, yeah, I forgot my mission's to save the world. And I'm doing all these side missions of like other things. To me, it takes away the importance of some of those, like the main mission that you're doing. Like, I'm supposed to save the world because something really bad's gonna happen, and here I am. I'm gonna go help some guy find the ingredients for his like delicious meal that he wants to make or something like that.
Well, that's what it is. And the games become so big that you forget how to play them. Like when I boot up Fallout, I'm gonna have to like play around for a little bit just to remember what the controls are and like what do I have in my inventory. And there's a whole like trade network in Fallout 4 between settlements, and I don't remember like how I had it set up.
Right, there's so many extras, and that's why I don't know. I guess I don't mind a linear game sometimes. Like I guess Final Fantasy 13 was a bad example because it's like really linear. I'm okay with that. I think if they're going to do an open world game, make those side missions matter. Like make them almost affect the main game.
Quick, there's a cat in a tree.
Yeah, it's like really. Yeah.
But yeah, make the quest something a little bit more meaningful to you and not just I'm doing this for the points or the money or the whatever.
Exactly. It's like like the one I said, like, oh, help my grandpa. You got to collect these herbs. He's really sick, but I can't go into the forest alone, like by myself, because there's dangerous monsters out there. All right, I'll help you. It's like you kind of like want to do those missions because you want to complete the game.
You don't want like Aunt Sally to make her pie, so you got to go get her apples or whatever.
Exactly. Like it just takes away from the game of like, oh, there's this main mission that I really got to do and to help save the world, which should be more important than Aunt Sally's apple pie. And that's part of why I'm a little nervous about Andromeda, because I kind of want to get it, but at the same time I'm like,
it's gonna be a massive game.
I think it's gonna be a big game. Even going back, so Mass Effect 1 is it's one of my favorite games. I love that game, but I went back to playing it, and I don't mind the gameplay. The gameplay's not as polished as the further ones, but what I like about it, there's good RPG elements, good overall balance. But man, there's like, I'm in the Citadel, which is like the kind of beginning big town that you're in, essentially. And I'm like, oh, hey, Commander Shepard, my wife died in that battle over here, and they want to use her body for research, but I'd like to give her a proper burial. Could you help convince some guy to do this? I legitimately walk like 100 yards, convince this guy to do, otherwise I go back to the guy, and it's just like, I'm like, all right, yep, we're going to get your wife's body back, and so you can give her a proper burial. And it's just like, I don't care. I'm chasing this guy, Saren, so I can, this rogue Spectre, so I can, unravel this plot that's going on. Like, why do I care about this? And I was kind of caring less about some of those things. I mean, when I first played that game, I was so immersed into it. I was in college when it came out, and I was like, I remember one of my friends walking into my room. I had like the curtains closed. It's like midday. It's like, what are you doing? Like, don't worry, I'm playing this game. And I was so immersed into it. And then going back into it, I was kind of like, I just don't care about some of these side like little missions. Like, if it really mattered for the story aspect, like that'd be cool. And I think they should do that more. Yeah. Or like even like if it's quests, I don't mind quests for like really important items too. But just like basic quests for money or experience, they're tedious after.
They wear on you.
They do
a little bit.
They wear on you. So I don't know. Open world, but it's the trend that's going on these days. Even so, you've got, like I said, Horizon Zero, whatever it's called. All the GTA games have always been. I mean, GTA was actually fine for me for the most part, but the new Badlands, the Tom Clancy Badlands one that just came out recently as well too. That one's open world. And that's just that seems to be a trending game. People want Breath of the Wild, of course, but yeah, a lot of people want open world games. For me, I'm just almost, I don't know if I can do it.
It takes a lot.
Takes a lot out of you.
All right.